Tánaiste.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the Deputy for raising the issue. I think anybody who has read about the issue or heard about it on media or who has had an opportunity, as I have had, to meet people with a very deep interest in this case, including in my own case briefly with members of his immediate family. I think all of us want to see Ibrahim Halawa at home and in the bosom of his family in Ireland. We know that he went to Egypt to see his extended family when he was just 17. And of course he was there at a time of the Egyptian Spring, the Arab Spring, when there was a great deal of demonstration and unrest and events. It is regrettable that the Egyptian authorities have not been in a position to process the various legal issues, but I will say that both the Minister for Foreign Affairs, with whom I've discussed the issue, and other ministers, and in particular our ambassador and our consulate staff in Egypt have maintained constant contact with Ibrahim and with the Egyptian authorities to ensure that, notwithstanding the very difficult circumstances he's in, that he is given that the Egyptian authorities are aware of the deep level of concerns in relation to this case in Ireland. The case is and remains a priority for the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Officials at the embassy in Cairo are monitoring the case and following the case closely. Ibrahim has received over 40 consular visits since he was first detained, and the most recent visit was earlier this week. As has been the case at all of the hearings in relation to his case, Irish embassy officials from our embassy in Cairo have been in attendance. I understand that the case will possibly come up again on the 2nd of August. In the meantime, the officials in the Department of Foreign Affairs will keep in constant contact. One of the approaches that might help to resolve this is if his bail application could be accepted. And, of course, the Irish government has been happy to support the bail application. And I would certainly use the forum of the Dáil to urge the Egyptian authorities to look at this situation of a teenager visiting, as I say, back in Egypt with his extended family, who got caught up in some of the events happening in Egypt in that time, and who has since been languishing in prison under varying conditions which are of deep concern to everybody. And I want to commend Amnesty International for taking such a close interest in this case, because I think it has to concern all of us that somebody who is an Irish citizen should actually be in this situation. And I have spoken with other members of the government in relation to the case, and I do hope that all of the work that's been done, particularly by our diplomatic officials and through a series of diplomatic channels, will result in Ibrahim being returned safely at home to his family here in Dublin.